That is for Deen al-Islam, religion with Allah since time began. That is for dhikr, remembering Allah, and Ra is for the month of Ramadan. Oh, Ramadan. That is for zakah, to cure our greed, when we give our money to those in need. Sa is for salamun alaykum, peace be with you, wa alaykum assalam.
Have you been looking for a new bank where interests play no role? Look no further. Lotus Bank is here to change the game with a breath of fresh air. We'll partner with you to achieve growth and success in almost every facet of your life. Experience a transparent relationship with us. Enjoy the benefits of non-interest banking, zero account maintenance fees, free debit card, 1 month free banking, zero interest on financing and ethical investments. Take that bold step now and embrace the opportunities of non-interest banking. Dial *5405# now. You may also download the Lotus Bank app on Google Play or Apple Store and begin your journey of breath of fresh air. Visit lotusbank.com. Lotus Bank. Partner. Progress. Prosper.
Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Sayyidina Muhammadin sallallahu alayhi wa sallam wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'in. We give thanks to Allah and we say, may the peace and blessings of Allah be upon all our viewers and listeners all over the world. We are back to another series of our discourse on zakatable items. For today, we'll be looking about another 3 or 4 zakatable items, starting with milk production, then followed by milk production along with the cow that is producing the milk, and then the third also to look at land and landed properties. And if time permits us, we can also extend this to look at, company, transport, business, or the artisans, as the case may be. Now, let us now make it very clear to us that if you are a farmer and you have cows, the cows you have are equivalent to the tools or machineries. Just like somebody who is a manufacturer has plants, has building, has vehicles. Zakat will not be calculated on those tools. Zakat will not be calculated on the building, on the machinery. But zakat will only be calculated on the revenue, the output of that production has given us. It is the same thing with milk. If you are a cow rearer, you have a cow, but you are not in the business of selling the cow, but you use the cow to produce milk, and it is the milk business that is your core area of business. So how do we now know whether that milk production is up to the nisab of zakat, and then what will be the zakat rates expected of such a person? It is important to mention clearly that the ruling on the nisab for milk selling, milk production, is different from the nisab of a trader that is selling both the cow and the milk at the same time. So in the case of a milk production alone, the nisab of zakat is that if the milk extracted from the cow is up to 160 liters or 653 kilograms, then that milk production for that year is zakatable, that it is liable to take out zakat on this milk. Now, what is the nisab? What is the zakatul rate that we are going to give out from this nisab? The zakat rate we are going to give out from this nisab is the same that applies to somebody who is into poultry rearing, snail rearing, as well as fishery, which is 2.5%. 2.5%. Like I did mention in one of the earlier series of this discourse, if you convert 160 liters into gallons is going to give you 32 gallons. So for the benefit of our people who are dealing with selling of milk, using their cow to extract milk, if you are able to have 32 gallons of milk, then it means for that year you are liable to pay zakat. And what you pay as your zakat rate is 2.5% of the value of that milk production for that year. I hope we are really following. Then another zakatable item is the combination of the milk and the cow. That is, you have a cow that produces milk, but you also sell out the cow. So not just only extracting milk, but you want to sell it out. The nisab for this one is different significantly from just extraction of milk alone and not selling the cow. So what is the nisab for when you want to combine the milk as well as the producer of the milk, that is the cow? The nisab for this one is equivalent to the nisab for money. If the value of both the milk and the cow is equal to the value of 85 grams of gold, and if you also can recall, we said for this foundation, that is Zakat and Sadaqah Foundation, the calculation for the nisab of Zakat for this year is 1,545,192 naira 90 kobo. So this is what we are going to use as the nisab for when you want to dispose both the cow and the milk that the cow produces outrightly. So then what is the zakat rate that you are going to pay? It is the same with when you are only extracting milk and only selling milk and you are not selling the cow. It is the same zakat rate, 2.5%.
Wakfu! Embracing Wakfu program for oneself or on behalf of the parent is Sadaqah to Jariyah that we afford the dua Jannah bi iznillah. Key into Wakfu program by bequeathing part of your estate, landed properties and other assets for the sake of Allah. Proceeds or rental fee from this asset shall be judiciously utilized by the tested and trusted Z&S Wakfu Foundation to bring succor to the needy and provision of social amenities and economic empowerment. You can also make a donation of a minimum of 10,000 naira that Z&S Wakfu Foundation will collect to procure assets that are economically viable. No doubt, Wakfu is highly rewarding. Contact Z&S Wakfu Foundation, Suite 12, Tafabalewa Square, Lagos. Call 080-3538-2911. With Wakfu, your asset will end you Jannah. Be easy in life. Be a partaker.
See, these differences at times can be confusing to somebody who is not dealing in all of these items, and then you want to retain it. It is a process. Over a period of time, you will get accustomed to it. So the same zakat rate of selling out milk alone is the same that applies to selling out milk combined with the cow that produces the milk, 2.5%. So for today, we have mentioned two zakatable items. The third zakatable items that I would also like to add is for those of us who are into estate business. We have land or landed properties. According to Islamic fuqaha, jurists, the correct opinion is that before you can decide whether a land or a landed property is zakatable, we must know what is the intention, of the potential zakat payer. If the property, we are talking about is purely dedicated for residential purposes, then there is no zakat on it. A building that you acquire, or a land that you now constructed, a building on it, but you are not using it for commercial purpose. It's for residence, either for your family or your extended family. There is no zakat, because that is the intention, according to the correct opinion of fuqaha. So there is no zakat. So there is no need for us going or talking about the zakat rate. But if the intention is for commercial purpose, you acquire a land, you have not built anything on that land, but your intention is that you want to commercialize the land. If after a year we try to find the market value of that land for that particular year. And then the value is above the nisab of zakat, which we have mentioned in terms of naira and kobo, which is 1,545,192 naira 90 kobo. That land is equivalent to that or even above it. Then for that year, that owner of that land is liable to pay zakat. And what is the zakat rate the person will pay? It is 2.5%. And 2.5% will give you approximately maybe around 38,000 naira. That is the least. So the higher the value, which is above the nisab, the higher will be the zakat the person is going to pay. But if you have a property, let us take for example, maybe you have one-story building and you are occupying just the first story, and then the ground floor, you commercialize the ground floor. So you are not going to pay zakat on the first floor, this first story you are occupying, because it is for your own consumption. But the ground floor that you have commercialized, if the rental income from that property is equal to and above the nisab of zakat for that particular year, then you are liable to pay zakat. And what you pay is 2.5%. This is what the correct opinion of the scholars is talking about with regards to landed property. Or somebody that is also into estate, you build and then you sell. You build and then you sell. The moment you are building, if ab initio, you have not paid zakat on the capital with which you commence that property, and you build and then you want to sell, the market value of that particular property you are selling, if it is up to and above the nisab of zakat, you are liable to pay zakat the following year on that property, and what you pay is 2.5% of the value, which is above the nisab of zakat. That is, it has a value of 85 grams of gold and above. Then you are liable to pay zakat. This is how we calculate, this is how we measure whether we are liable to pay zakat. And this is how, again, we come to know what is the rate of zakat, we're expected to pay. We can see that these items, as they vary, their nisab also varies. Some has the same zakat rate, but they don't have the same nisab. While some have the same nisab and the same zakat, it is important for a potential Muslim zakat payer to understand what is the nisab for that zakat items in his possession, for him to be able to know what will be the zakat rate he or she is going to pay. And this is the work of the zakat administrators. You can always consult with them. You can reach out to people working with Zakat and Salah Foundation for them to assist you to do the self-assessment for a particular year, and then going forward, you can begin to now do the assessment on your own. You only need to just do addition or subtraction for you to be able to know what is the net balance of what you have, and then you now match that with the current nisab, and then you know what is the zakat rate you are expected to give out. We hope what we've said today will be beneficial to both the speaker and the listeners. Until we come your way next time, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Oh, Ramadan, that is for zakah to cure our greed. When we give our money to those in need, that is for salamun alaikum. Peace be with you, wa alaikum assalam. Labbaik Allah.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. This is Hajj Mabrur Ventures Limited. How can we help you, sir?
Can you please tell me about your mode of operations?
Hajj Mabrur Ventures has been a leading private Hajj and Umrah operator for close to 20 years. At Hajj Mabrur Ventures, our pilgrims are our priority. We always provide them with conducive accommodations that are close to Haram, soul purifying sermons from our League of Clerics, state-of-the-art aircraft, zihara in Mecca and Medina, competent medical team.
Aja, please tell him about the feeding twice in a day.
You are right, ma.
This is exactly what I heard from your old client. You guys are fantastic.
Alhamdulillah, sir.
And you will receive a check from me today.
Visit Hajj Mabrur Ventures Limited, 9A, Wing 1 Abiodun Fashake Crescent, behind Old Lasso Campus, Idiroko Bus Stop, Ikorodu Road, and Suite 10, Tafabalewa Square. Telephone 0809-211-3680. Website hajmabruru.com. Simply hospitality, truly spirituality.